What's up everybody, you're very welcome along to this Burnley preview video, the second last game of this mad Premier League season, and it has been an absolutely crazy season. If we think back to how we started it, how full of optimism we were to where we were a couple of weeks ago, and it's full circle back around to a little bit of optimism and a little bit of happiness. And look, it was a season tinged with disappointment, but it is still in our own hands, the qualification for Champions League football, and it is going to be a difficult trip to Turf Moor on Wednesday. I'm recording this the night after we had that amazing comeback victory against West Brom, and who would have thought ALISSON would have been the one who scored the winner for us. But what a moment it was for him. And I don't know about you guys, but I haven't really slept very much, and I'm full of the joys of spring ahead of that one. It's after that one, I should say. I'm a little bit all over the place today, ladies and gentlemen, but I wanted to get on, do this preview video, get my predicted score, my starting 11 prediction out as well, ahead of the game coming up on Wednesday. A bit of a heads up about what's coming up this week. Tomorrow, this will be going out on Tuesday, and as this goes out, I will be over on Mundo Sporto doing a watch along of a game that does have a lot of permutations to us, which is of course the Chelsea game against Leicester City. So I'll be over there tomorrow if you want to come over and join me for that game. There is a link to Mundo Sporto in the description of the stream. But look, we're here to talk about one thing and one thing only, the second last game of the season. 3 more massive points. It's going to be a difficult trip. Don't forget, West Brom are going to have fans. Burnley are going to have fans. I keep on West Brom on the brain after last night's game. Burnley are going to have fans inside Turf Moor for this game. 10,000, I believe, back inside. So firstly, it's great to have fans back inside stadiums, but may make this a little bit more tricky. It's their last game of the season at home, I believe. And Sean Dyche won't roll over. We know that about any of Sean Dyche's Burnley teams. They fight till the end, and yes, they were handed their asses the other day by Leeds, and they haven't had a great season by all accounts, but it's always been a difficult place to go, and I'm expecting nothing but a very, very difficult 90 minutes on Wednesday. So look, we'll go through my predicted 11, we'll go through my score predictions, and of course, as always, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know if you agree with my predicted 11 and score predictions, or who you change and why. And there's lots of transfer gossip as well, so keep an eye out for the late night agenda shows that will be going out around 8:30 most nights as well. But look, let's get started with this one. Score prediction for this one. What have I gone with? A 2-0 away win for the Reds. I know it sounds easy, it sounds straightforward, but I've no doubt it won't be that straightforward. It never is with Liverpool, is it? If anything, if we take anything from last night, it's expect the unexpected, and maybe it's the optimistic side for me, but I am predicting a Liverpool win. I do think we should go there, even with the quick turnover of games, obviously, with Liverpool having played a couple of times already over the past week, and now another game coming up. But look, there's less than a week to go. It's pedal to the metal. Let's try and get these points and then finish at home against Crystal Palace on Sunday, knowing that it will be in our own hands. And on the last day of the season, by the way, I'll be joined by Connor in my house, so he'll be keeping you all up to date with what's going on during the watch along in the other games, and I'll concentrate on the Liverpool game. But this is about Burnley, folks. Let's go over now, and I'll give you my predicted 11. There's not many surprises in it. There can't be many surprises in it because, look, there aren't that many players fit and available. But I'm going to switch over now to the image for me, and this is what I'd like to see, or who I would like to see take the pitch against Burnley on Wednesday night. Right, folks, as you can see, it's an unchanged starting 11 for me. The unchanged 11 that I predicted for the game against West Brom, I'm keeping it the exact same. There is an argument to be said that maybe we'll rotate back in Gini Wijnaldum to take Curtis Jones' place, having started Curtis Jones the other day. We'll wait and see what the gaffer decides. We'll wait and see what way the players recover as well. But in goal, our beautiful Brazilian goal-scoring, heading, magnificent fella that is Alisson Becker. Right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, as I'm recording this, the England squad hasn't been confirmed yet, but there has been a lot of stuff coming out. Particularly, I believe David Ornstein put out something that suggested Trent could well miss out on the Euros with England. I'm sorry, but it's not my business to speak about England. I'm an Irishman, but if Gareth Southgate does not take that player, Trent, to the Euros, I give up. Honestly, I just give up. I've lost all faith in humanity, let alone football, because, he gives you that something different, doesn't he, Trent? Look, you can make arguments about Reece James, you can talk about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and they all have great attributes, but none of them have the arsenal, have the calibre of quality that Trent has, in my opinion. So I'm shocked. If he doesn't go, he doesn't go. I'm sure he'll learn from it, but it'd be nothing but anti-Liverpool bias for me if he doesn't go. He had a rocky start to the season, but he's really progressed as it's gone on, and he's been the most important player for us, or one of the most important players, player of the season, or player of the month last month as well, player of the season. I'm getting carried away. And for me, Trent has to go to the Euros, but most importantly, he has to start against Burnley. Over on the left side, the Flying Scotsman, Andy Robertson. Again, busy campaign for Robbo. Hasn't had much of a break because Kostas Tsimikas has had COVID. He's had a couple of injuries, and Milner's filled in there at times, but mainly Robbo's played the entire season, and with the Euros coming up as well, I'm sure he'll be dying to get a bit of a break at some point, but it won't be against Burnley and it won't be against Palace. Centre-back pairing, look, it's down to the bare minimum, it's down to bare bones. We have no option but to go with Reece Williams and Nat Phillips. Yes, some of you might think we could go with Fabinho, but we need Fabinho in midfield as far as I'm concerned. And look, I think Reece Williams still has a lot to learn. Of course he does. He's a centre-back at 18 years of age. Maybe he's 19. I think he's 18. Let's just go with he's 18 because that suits my agenda far better. I think he has a lot to learn. He has been caught ball watching at times. His body starting position hasn't been great on a couple of occasions. But look, he's a young lad learning alongside another lad that's been drafted in this season to perform heroics. I mean, Nat Phillips could have been gone off to Barnsley, Burnley, Swansea and a few other clubs in and around the Championship in the January window, but the decision thankfully was made to keep him at the club, and you know, he's done his credibility no harm, and if he does leave Liverpool in the summer, I'm sure it'll be to a far better club than perhaps it would have been in the January window. Moving into midfield then, ladies and gentlemen, Thiago, we're starting to see the beautiful Samba genius in full flow now. I mean, there's been a lot of questions put to him this season and asked about him. Was he a flop? Will we ever see the best of him? I think finally he's starting to get into a rhythm now, and he's starting to get used to the players in and around him, particularly in that midfield. I mean, he would have been brought in to play alongside Fabinho, maybe Henderson, and he hasn't really had too much of a chance to do that this season. But he is finally starting to show his beautiful best, and he was so important against United. He was so important against West Brom, and I think he's going to have a massive role to play. Keeping the ball moving, switching up the angles, linking up play, with Fabinho in behind, covering as well, making burst forward where need to be. And I'd go for Curtis Jones. Now, not just because Genie's leaving, which has been what I've said on a few occasions, because to be fair, Genie was amazing against Manchester United, and you know, silence any doubts that we may have had about not his commitment, because that's not fair, but maybe if he was willing to put his body on the line and he was willing to do the hard yards with a potential move in the offing for him in the summer. So if Kloppo does go with Genie Wijnaldum, so be it. I mean, we are short of bodies in there as well. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's injured, Naby Keita's injured, James Milner's injured. The injuries just keep on coming for the Reds. Diogo Jota's injured, Henderson's injured. We're running out of bodies, so you know, I think it'll be bare bones to the end of the season. And of course, Diogo Jota not being injured means Sadio Mane will almost definitely start on the left side of the attacking trio. Bobby Firmino to the centre and Mohamed Salah on the right hand side. Again, how important has Mo been for us this season? And Sadio Mane, maybe he feels he has a point to prove, maybe he feels like he hasn't had his best season. In fact, we know he feels like he hasn't had his best season because he's been very honest and upfront about that in recent interviews as well. And I'd like to think that he'll want to sign off the season with a good performance or two. And of course, Mohamed Salah has one eye on that golden boot race for Harry Kane as well. Interesting today, actually, just before I record this, a piece comes out to suggest that Harry Kane has told Spurs that he wants to leave. So we will, of course, keep an eye on that transfer, because that could be the one big one that triggers many more transfers. Look, ladies and gents, that is my predicted 11. 2-0 is my predicted score. As always, I want to know what you guys have to say on this one. I want to know your opinion. Our watch alongs, of course, and this stream has been brought to you in association with Boyle Sports. So if you're going to have a little flutter on the game on Wednesday night, why not go over to the Boyle app, download it. If you're in the UK and Ireland, you put on your first tenner bet, Boyle will match that and give you at least one free tenner bet. So again, that is open to UK and Irish residents age 18 plus. But most importantly, fingers crossed for 3 points. Fingers crossed that we don't go through the mill like we did the other night against West Brom. I say the other night, it was last night. It feels like a lifetime ago. I'm waffling here a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. But look, again, thank you for everything. Let me know your thoughts on the game. I'll be back with a chat with Leon later on in the week ahead of the final game of the season. But until then, thank you very much for your time. Hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and leave your comments below. Thank you very much, ladies and gents. Up the Reds.